No sword in my hands, just a will that won't break. I've seen Monastera tremble, felt every quake. Sam carried Frodo when he couldn't go on. Now I carry that heart even when hope is gone. Then came Gandalf's staff lit the sky. Even the darkest times still let light fly. From Isengard's fall to Helm's Deep's last stand, I rise with the brave, not just sword in hand. Don't fight for crowns, I don't kneel to fate. I stand like Neo and I won't hesitate. Aragorn's cry, Theoden's charge in the fray. I'm the flame in the dusk till the break of day. I don't fight for crowns, I don't kneel to fate. I stand like Neo and I won't hesitate. Aragorn's cry, Theoden's charge in the fray. I'm the flame in the dusk, the break of day. The Lord of the Rings, I give it all. From Moria's dark to Mount Doomfall. So beyond the pain, we fight till it's over. We rise again. From ashes we rise. We answer the call. We stand for the light. We are one for all. Born with the fire like smog in the air, but I learned from Boromir, beware despair. Power corrupts, the ring's heavy price. Gollum fell chasing it twice. I saw Denethor fall, blinded by fear, while Faramir stood, silent but clear. Galadriel's grace, but a fire inside. She passed on the test, while others just lied. I'm not just a fighter, I'm light through the shade, like Legolas, swift and Gimli unafraid. From Rivendell's peace to the Black Gate's cry, I rise like the eagles, I will not die. We give it all, from the Shire to shadow, we heed the call. So, beyond the flame, with hearts unbroken, we rise again. Through trolls and breaks, we rise through the fall. We stand for the weak, we are one for all. So, through fire and stone, from ants that march to thrones overthrown. So, no fear remains, even Sauron's shadow breaks out our name. We carry the ring, we answer the call. We stand as the light, we are one for all. I am here with the flow of the rings.
Oh man, what's going on, everybody? Good evening. We are 9:49 today. Welcome to our Rise to War daily live stream. How is everybody doing? What's up, Turgon? 2 steps. We got Matthias, Matze in the chat. Ryoman, no, the hammer used weak. How dare you come to my live stream, man? Hey, Cleon, what's up, King of the Dead? Hope you guys are having a beautiful Thursday. I don't even care the day of the week it is, because we know we're going to be here daily. It can be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. We're here. What's up, Salt? Looking forward to seeing you on the next live stream tonight still. Because, yes, today is the day. Kind of cool, isn't it? I, by accident, scheduled today to be the first live stream that we do in the Lord of the Rings online. If you guys have ever played or want to follow up with us, we're going to be doing our first live stream today after today's Rise to War live stream. And by accident, I found out just a little bit ago that today is the 18th anniversary of the release of Lord of the Rings Online. It's kind of cool to start on that day. I'm updating the client right now. Never played on the Glam Drink, so it will be something new for me. There is a reason, okay, guys? I know we've been talking about this in my Discord. Vessi, by the way, if you hear, hey, hard rule, Vessi, if you're here really quick, the reason why I haven't posted the Gore's Discord link is because I don't have it. Every time I try to copy, this keeps saying hidden for me. Yuki. Yes, it is. It is. It's still 18 years. That's what we're doing today. So the reason why we're going to Glamdring is because later we're going to be joining with, you guys probably seen him. There is a YouTuber called, his channel is called Voice of the Rings, and we're going to be joining up with them later as we level up. So that's why we're going specifically to that server. We're trying to, create a little group, create a community that we can, chill and vibe together. And I want to experience this game in and out. I actually just learned that there's like an RP and I guess non-RP version. There you go, Angus. We're going to be joining up with your boy Zolan. Shout out to Voice of the Rings, because we're going to be hooking up. And I mean, we're not going to be hooking up. We're going to be hooking up with their team once we level up. So we're going to be doing that live stream after the Rise Tour live stream. Okay. But, okay, really quick before we get to what's going on in the server and some, you guys saw it right. The thumbnail is not clickbait. We've been called to clean, and it's serious business. I love PvP. Honestly, I really love PvP in Rise to War, but I said this a few times already this week. Cleaning, pathing, tiling, sieging, these things are very serious, and it definitely can. It can make or break certain scenarios in your season. So please, guys, whenever you have announcements in your teams, follow those objectives, because it's serious business, Nikita. Okay? It was very serious in 1.0. It's still extremely serious in 2.0. And yeah. All jokes aside, guys, honestly, I do think it's really important to tile, to block, to path, all these things. Are you ready for serious business? I really do think that tiling, pathing, sieging, all these things are extremely important in the game. And, I've been lucky to play with a few teams in my time, playing Rise to War. I played in multiple teams. Utes has been my long-standing team, last, 4, 5, 6 seasons? I got to look the history later. But I've played in multiple teams. I played in a team called Claw, Comp. Not Comp, actually. I played in Comp, not in Tower, actually. I've played with Claw for a few seasons. Then I, played in Pome, Pirates of Middle Earth. Then Jackson and I hopped onto Utes. And I've been lucky to, for example, last season, I was talking to Vessi earlier today, and Cletion, a huge shout out to my boy Cletion, runs an all-elf formation account, essentially. And a huge shout out to Zero Fox and his leadership team. I had the pleasure of playing with Book RP last season, before our season here started. And I learned some really cool things of how they've organized their team, announcements, strategy. We lost that season essentially, but the grit to play until the very last day, I don't think I've ever seen this in Rise to War ever. Every day, even to the last, there's the pings. Hey, attack here, go here. We're not stopping. We're not stopping until we get to Bag End. Until when we get there, we relax. It was just really, really cool to see that kind of activity, even when they were losing. We were losing. I played with them, so I'm part of the team. And it's so crucial for players to be able to follow those orders, because leaders might take all the time. I'm in youth leadership, and we take a lot of time all day today talking about what we're trying to achieve for the rest of the server. And so we spent a lot of time discussing, debating, disagreeing, agreeing in certain things, disagreeing in others. And when we make a plan and then the players don't really follow as fast as we hoped, it definitely hurts, because we spent a lot of time, guys, leading in this game. It's tough. You guys know this. Many of you have had the experience of leading, and it burns out. It's time consuming, and you still gotta be at the front, to lead by the example. Very, very, very tough. Oh, look at that. 7 seasons. Jeez, that's true. I was still with Yadu. Yeah, that was my first season with you. This was when Nudes and Yadu merged. You are correct, Turgon. Yes. Then we fought Prank and Prak, something like that. Yeah, it was an interesting season. Long. So Yudes, but it's definitely a stealth leading. So shout out to leaders, because it's tough. Let me see, Salt. If you join an Orcus, I could have shown you my epic outfits. Man, we can join. We're gonna do a lot of things. Was it Angus? No, Salt. We're gonna do a lot of things in Lord of the Rings Online. Like I said, this is stream 9 out of 9 for Rise to War. My plan is just to stream every day and just get bigger and bigger, where I can kind of shift from doing, work stuff into this being my, as long as I'm not living under a bridge. Just kidding. We're gonna continue doing this. So as we pick up momentum, we're gonna do a lot of cool things for also Lord of the Rings Online. So we're gonna have time to do a lot of stuff. All right. But Cleona is correct. Shout out to Cleona. Don't forget, guys, we got 35 people watching right now and only 10 likes. All right. That's the way you guys can support. Liking the video, hitting that subscribe button, and yeah, let's go. What's up, Billy? Good to see ya. You can join as many servers as you want to. Yeah, on Lord of the Rings 1. That's the plan. Okay, I have to just create so by the way, I'm gonna create a brand new character, and brand new experience, because I never really gotten too deep into Lord of the Rings Online, and I'll explain that in the next live stream, because this is Rise to War. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the map here. A lot of pings. Wow, look at this. Look at this. These guys have already taken... Oh, geez. This is nasty. This is nasty. So Noad and Illo have already taken the 3 passes. 1 that goes into Lower, 2 that goes into Lorien, and then this one at the top here that goes into the area that gives access to Dol Guldur. And then Fire has taken both of these as well. So both that go into Undeeps, that then connect to Dol Guldur, and this one is still not being taken. All right, cool. Besides that, right, so you have us here. We have 3 pieces of land now. We own Oasis of Rune. We own Sea of Rune, which is the Kinlan, where the capital or our main base is, and then Greater Rune over here. Now, why did I say rise to cleaning duty? Because we are moving west. We're moving west and cleaning these pieces of land here, because it seems that leadership among all of these are working on spicing things up. I can't tell you guys. I can't tell you guys exactly the details, because that would ruin everything, and details actually not finalized, but things are being worked on, and today we are on cleaning duty. So let's go. Now we got 5 tiles though, so let's see, where are our commanders? Got 2 over here. Oh man, I don't want this. What is our limit? So we can go... Yeah, we should probably make a fort over here. Liz, any ruins around? Any ruins around? Look at that. It's all been taken already. Can I join you to have Gorback R1? What's up, Rayhawk? How you doing? Billy, that is probably the role I'm actually gonna go with, is probably going to be captain, by the way, if you're like that you mentioned that, but it probably would be the easiest for me to start with. And so Z1, sorry, okay, I mean R1. Yeah. We gotta send some over here for a fort then, huh? Yep, that works. Maybe a little bit over here then. Make sure we're not getting in anybody's business. Who can occupy the quickest though? 21. That works. Let's send Gil over here. Borgor bag, a bit of trash now. Well, I mean, I love how T1s in 1.0 were amazing. But let's be honest, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for a T1 to be as powerful as a T3. Like, don't get me wrong, I had my Frenzy Dwalin, I had my Frenzy Khaldun, but it makes a lot more sense for a T1 to be less powerful. But a lot of them are just kind of meh. I kind of wish the T1s were more like utility in a way, like a full siege formation, or eagles sniping, like whatever. But yeah, he was really good. I love troop commanders, but now they are kind of meh. I mean, we shall see. We shall see. We're testing a lot of troop formations right now. Of course, we're testing a lot of the new stuff as well. It's like the new commanders coming out. But with some of these changes, we might be able to start seeing some of the previous ones be, do I really? Wait. Do I have a level 1 tile? We're at Tartar. What are you talking about, man? That's so cool. Tartar's sending me a message and he's in bag in. All right, man. Look at that. Shout out from Turgon. Anyone who is interested genuinely in joining youths is welcome to go through our recruitment process to ensure good fit for both sides. That's good shout out. I mean, Tartar, I don't know where you're talking. I don't think I have a 1 tile anywhere in this area. Let's have a look here. The only 1 tile I believe, I mean, maybe I could be wrong. Hopefully I'm wrong. That way I don't have to. Yeah, I don't think so. The other 1 tiles that I have are here. That's a 3 tile. So I am not seeing any 1 tiles over here. There is a tile that I own here, but that's not enough to get me to where I really want to. So ideally though, there would be a ruin that I can take. Would make my life a lot easier. But I doubt it. Okay, let's check where Gil's going then. Oh crap. Let's go over here. No, I don't have. Yeah, I mean, I'm right here. So he's going over here. I don't have any tiles in this area. I wish I did. Yeah, everything is blue. Everything is blue, Tartar. But thank you for the shout out, my friend. Yeah, everything is blue over here. Yep. Yeah, nothing green on the map, so it's okay. I mean, not too crazy, not too crazy. Just another 18 minutes. It's not like we're gonna be being able to do anything during the live stream, anyways, because it takes 2.5 hours. If we had a ruin somewhere close, we can potentially find one. This is out of my reach anyway. Let's go over here. Now, I've been playing this game. Oh, this one could be good. Let's see. Let's see. Maybe he's offline, or he's already building. Let's see. Maybe he's gonna say, "Yo, I already built my temp camp." That would make my life a lot easier. Let's see. That would be good though. That way, I don't have to spend, my AP points. I can use that for resources. Let's see. Hopefully, because that puts me in a very good spot right here. If I can take that one. Oh, look at that! It's right on the border. Oh. All right, I'm actually gonna just wait until he replies. Maybe I'll ping him in our Discord really quick. All right, maybe he replies soon. No worries, man. Hey, hopefully it's enough. We got enough time for him. Does an R5 Marion Pippin qualify? I mean, we always take different levels of players, guys. So just apply if you want to. What do you think is best resources to go for? Grain. I mean, after you do all the 20 chapters from the beginning of the season, grain. Because whenever you have troops that go into your apothecary, grain is the resource you use to heal them. So always grain. After, like I said, after you get all the stone you need from the 20 chapters that you need for the beginning of the season. Yeah, active. Good point. Good point. Active, skilled players. That you don't have to be, necessarily big, but active is key. Waiting for Lotr. This guy has been slacking, busy streaming every day. Yeah, boy, we're streaming every day. So I've been playing on the computer, on my phone, and on the tablet. Man, it is so good to play on a tablet. You got basically your phone as a huge screen, and it's just a lot easier. So smooth to play on the tablet. He streams at work. You wish. You wish I did. So I mean, look at that. We did a pretty good job here cleaning. Now the question is, how close are we to clean this area? I mean, we're doing a good job. Gotta make sure that everything is taken. All right. Rob's is active. Can he also join you guys? Oh, that's a good one, man. That is a good one. Who took the keep? Somebody took something. Gia! We have taken Hills of Rune. There we go, baby. Now 4 pieces of land for our boys and girls. Yeah, I guess all these tiles need to go. All these red tiles need to go. Not this one. You guys will understand soon enough why. That one can stay. Y'all see him, man, fellow fans. He really does. Claims he's speaking to DHL in the meeting room, but he's grinding. Yeah, vote to let Robs and nudes. Sad it were not a million on the last day. we do look at whether players are known to be toxic, so there's a factor in our recruitment process. Yeah, that's definitely one of them. Do you work for DHL? I actually don't work for DHL. We use their services to deliver our products, but no. What's up, Rod Deck? It's been a couple days, haven't it? How close is Guajir to R10? The Lord of the Rings online, but it is going to be in about 1 hour. So after this stream here. Good question, Arsenal. He is one respect away. He is one respect away from R10. So the next week for sure, Guajir, R10, Relic already unlocked essentially. Just need this, R10, and then we'll strengthen a piece of gear for him. And then we're good to go. We're good to go. After that, getting him to R10, which it's essentially... we're going to try, to push him to Z1 eventually, very slowly, but Z1 is kind of the go. The other two we're going to be pushing in is Black Serpent to R10, Kirun to R10. They're not too far from it, as by the way. So a couple more levels here. And then we'll see where we go from there. Kirun and Black Serpent will likely not push beyond that because Black Serpent has... it has 3 trees that interest me and his relic. I try to get every, if I'm going to use a commander, their relic, even if I don't fully strengthen, that 10 Mithril for the extra stats is a nice little boost. There's 3 skills that I want to use in Horn of Harad, Haradrim, and Lord of Mumakil. Fire Dancer doesn't really interest me, not for the build that I'm going for. While Z with the camouflage would be sweet. Yeah, that's kind of the goal. And Kirun, the same thing, right? I'm really interested in Preacher, Master of the Chariot, and most likely Lord of Sands. Because I kind of, maybe it could also be this one. Let's see, minus 22 of defense, and it stacks plus 6. So 6 times 7, that's 42. Maybe this one. It'll be these 3 essentially. At least. Yeah, I really actually like this skill right here. I really, really like this skill. It sounds a bit. See, this is the thing you guys have to understand when you're looking at a commander that has crowd control or very specific round activation skills. Okay, let's look at Kirun for example. When you look at him at face value, like, man, he has a skill that activates 3 times only. How crap is that? Okay, but you have to understand and look at when that skill activates. This skill activates in one of the rounds where most damage dealers deal their damage, right? So if anybody's running a Dane, if anybody's running a Gimli, Lurtz, obviously Shadow, Saruman, they deal damage in other instances, but in that specific case, if you're giving Dane, Gil, or Gimli, Lurtz, all these heavy hitters in round 3, giving them madness, they can hit themselves, right? But if they don't, you can remove like 60. Yes, I know that he Bjorn is round 4, right? So this is minus 22, and it modifies, it scales with command. So for every 100 command, you get plus 6. So if your Kirun is, let's say, at 600, that's 36 plus 22. So let's make it simple and put it to 50. You're decreasing their attack by 50, which I think is actually really decent. Okay, now you can play around with Kirun's initiative. I'm not even going to do the math right now, but potentially, if you make your Kirun faster than Dane, you can hit Dane, right? And if you make him fast enough where he's faster than, in this case, he needs to be, if he's lower than Bjorn, right? If he's then slower than Bjorn, Bjorn will hit first in round 3. And then you have a chance to proc this Golden Visage on your enemy's Bjorn. It depends, Dahi. It depends if you're faster or slower. So let's back up a little. If round 3 starts and you're faster than everybody, you're the one at the top, right? You have the chance of proccing Golden Visage, and then Dane's gonna go after you, and that procs on Dane, correct? If Bjorn is slower than you as well, that means he's gonna proc in round 3 for Bjorn's round 3 because he's gonna go right after you. Now, if you are slower than Bjorn, okay, so let's say so before it was Kirun, Bjorn here. Now, if you're slower than Bjorn, round 2 starts, Bjorn is here, so he's gonna attack you first, and then you activate Golden Visage, right? And so that means for one round, for Bjorn's one round, he has the chance of madness, or you debuff him his attack or defense. Now, when round 4 starts, he's gonna try to proc right the madness, but he's already maddened, so then you have a chance of hurting your Bjorn. So it just depends how you want to play. Hopefully that made sense. This is why some players use Galadriel as a tank, but they make sure she's fast enough to be faster than Dane, but slower than Bjorn. And this is the key here, okay? You have a chance to be faster than Dane and still slower than Bjorn, that you have a chance to proc on both of them. Okay? Because Dane is very, very slow and Bjorn is naturally fast. You can be faster than Dane, but then slower than Bjorn, and that would be the golden thing. So we're pushing him to R10. I mean, I might actually want to push him to R13 actually, because if I can get all of these maxed out, you don't have to max out this one. I mean, I kind of want to though. The Tiger's attack and defense -15 additionally. That is even bigger. You can go from 60 to 75, and I think this is worth it. So get this to full here, and then full here as well. And then 1 point into this. I mean, you actually don't need this. 1 point here actually does you nothing. So R10 is good enough. R10 is perfect. You don't need them above R10. All 3 trees full. This is gonna be fun. You know who you are that are watching right now, man. It's gonna be fun to get him to R10. And then, pair him with Black Serpent. It could be a nasty combo. And you only need him at R10 as well. All right. Enough rants here. Kirun is amazing. I like Kirun because it's fun to play. Look at that. Let's have a quick look here. Nazgo Cheese Rider, I appreciate you, brother, for sending these reports. Let's have a quick look at his Kirun, his formation. Oh, he's been hitting lonely. Only has one of the biggest accounts in the game. Let's see what happens here. Okay, let's quickly look at the Leviathan that is this guy right here. We got an Z14 Bjorn with a Z14 Saruman and a Z15 Gandalf the White and a Z15 Sauron. Interesting formation here. That's surprising using a tank with that low defense. But then you got Nazgûl. I mean, this is the nice thing. When you know your formation, you can do things like this. He's running a much lower respect formation, but look what he's doing. Shadow, R12, one of the coolest T2s in this game. R10, Undying, and R14, Kirun. I mean, look at that. I mean, I think... I mean, this defense, a -8, -10. Yeah, I think his R2 for me would be... I mean, I guess it's debatable here. This is something that I'd be willing to test, right? Here you have a chance to proc 15% to proc every round on 2 formations. Depending on how well it actually does proc, you know, the tendencies, then maybe this, you know, this at R10 might be better, but I still feel like I prefer this. Oh, Dahi, proc means activate. It's a term we use when the skill actually lands on the commander. So you have a 15. So for example, Bjorn has a 30% chance here for double blows, dual blows. So we kind of say it has a 30% chance to proc the skill. Okay. So when you hear that in the game, that's what it means. I'm gonna have to test this a little bit. Obviously, with the nice thing here is just 1 point, you already get the chance for madness. But if I increase to 10, I'm interested in both the potential for madness, but also the potential for the minus attack. Because if in round 3 or round 6, whatever, you know, wherever the commander's hitting, they have a minus 60, minus 70 of attack, the Dane or the Bjorn is going to do so little damage that it's, I don't know, almost equivalent, you know, to a white council. Don't take this, you know, seriously, but it's, you know, it's a damage mitigation skill that I'm not sure if I prefer the potential for a stun of 15% on 2 formations. Although the minus defenses is nice, I still think this for me would be the way that I would go. That's probably what I will test myself first. Okay, this looks good, man. That's a huge player right there. Not the TM you're looking for. A Z7 Galadriel with a Z10. Ooh, Dane. A R12. A Isildur and a Z5. Z5 Gandalf. I mean, I think this is you're doing amazing. You're doing an amazing job considering the account differences. I think it's really good. Dane is really the one pushing the damage here, but a Z10 Dane with a full refined relic, very, very hard to counter, you know? So you're doing a good job here. And Reek, I believe Reek has also a nice account. Yeah, Z9 Sauron with a Z1 Gandalf the White and a Z6 Dane and a Z3 Burn. Yeah, incredible account. Funny enough that you did better versus Lonely than you did it versus Reek. That is interesting. Hopefully my teammate replies to me before I have to build that fort. Hopefully. Okay. So those are the two that we're going to be pushing after we get him to R10. And then he's going to continue being pushed, hopefully, to Z1. These two, I'll keep at R10. You might ask, why are you going to push the bird to Z1? I mean, Guai here, his skills can scale perfectly up to Z10. So if you have the budget and you want to push him to Z10, he is a commander that the skills do not go to waste. Whereas some other ones after Z1, like I said earlier, I think yesterday, you don't really need to do much after that. You do it, you can do it if you want to, but you don't really, it's not a needed, you know? It's not needed. What's up, Matsu? How you doing? Ace and a lot of fire guys could give you a good data. They had the Kieran Colt. I mean, yeah, whoever has anybody that's on right now wants to send some reports in the DM, I would appreciate it. Say hi to YouTube. All right, cool. So we got another piece of territory. Just got to make sure all of these are, I mean, not these ones, but everything that has fire or neon on is cleaned. Ancient Soul. It's a team called Solo. Play Network, double dipping. Who is this? Cord. Yeah, I think I mean, pretty much, you know, I think most of the cleaning has been done. Now we gotta clean this side though. Yeah. Ooh, a lot of, ooh, look at that. A lot of 8 tiles here, guys, for the taking. Nobody's coming here. You gotta come over here for the taking here. Let's see where is the nearest. Look at that. Some, ooh, look. I have to come here myself. The issue, I don't have any. I don't have any tiles for this area. Anabolics from Honk running a Z2 Kieran. I mean, I have a couple of players that have Z Kieruns. Can't remember who now, but a lot of supports don't need to go after R10 unless you want the cool outfit for them. Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty sure Emma Watson or G Unit has a nice Kieran. X from Lame, I know that account really well. Has I think a Z10, Z14. Old OG YG account has Z13, 14 Kieran. Yeah. Look at that, Matsumoto back in the clan, huh? Nice. There you go. Yeah, so I mean, I know a lot of people that run some pretty hefty keyrunes. I think Jax has one. CLF probably has one as well. Who else? Maybe Melkor has one. Yeah, there's quite a few. Quite a few. So we're gonna get enough testing here, but I think my hunch is on point with running Keyrune. You guys gonna see that. What other comms you thinking of putting with him? So one of the builds that I'm considering is going to be running Guahir, Keyrune, and Black Serpent together. That is one of them. I gotta see. These three might not. I mean, these three will pair well. Just not sure if the damage will be enough for that to work. But it pairs well. They all buff large units, which is what I'm trying to do. Could pair also Gandalf the Grey for the mitigation, or maybe another more offensive commander just for a all-out, heavy punch. It's been working, guys. We always try to think that, hey, we always need White Council. You don't. Oh, thank you. Nice. Yo, Utes, nobody taking my ruin. I'm coming over. Yeah, we just saved 3 AP, man. All right, let's move Gil over here. Yeah, baby. What's up, my friend Eduardo? Boa noite. Yeah, boys and girls, we just saved 3 ability points on this rune. See, this is the kind of thing, you guys need to do. Could have been impatient and used my AP and only been able to get anything in this area for a temp camp in 2.5 hours. But our good teammate here is willing to drop it for us, and we're gonna take it. And then anybody, if you guys need it right after me, just let me know, and I'll sell the ruins for £5. For $5. I'm too used to saying pounds now. Guahir, Black Serpent, Sunin, and 3 chariots, bro. Yeah, that's the thing, though. I kind of prefer. That's what I was saying. I think I prefer Keyrune with war chariots. And because I am not sure if I will push Sunin anywhere. The only other commander that I see me wanting to push is I have an idea for Witch King that I might want to test out, and he could use the full trees for a couple of reasons. You can go 5 here. No, I kind of Witch King does really well with the Z10 formation, depending on how you build that. Definitely, the Witch King is it's not gonna get pushed to Z10 on this account. I mean, I mean, yeah, potentially just running these 3 skills. Maybe just these 3. The 50% here is nice for the stun, but I maybe prefer this one here. So funny to me that you have either below R10 or Zenith. I mean, what do you mean Zenith? Oh, okay, Zenith 1. Yeah, that's the thing. But we're pushing, man. We're gonna get those 2 to R10. Witch King, maybe. I mean, I'll probably test him just R4 as it is, and if the results are good, then maybe we'll push him. There's an idea for Oglerg because he also does beasts and trolls. This is a very good skill. This is also a nice skill. The only issue with him is that he only really buffs himself. So I think I'd have to funnel all the damage on him for it to work the way that I'm thinking. You know, because this goes, it's every round. So if I can, soak in all of that physical damage the first 6 rounds, instead of, for example, if I'm using mountain trolls, that's my idea. Or then I have to go ranged. If I don't run mountain trolls and I run something like hill trolls, which could work really well, I potentially have to run 3 ranged units in the back, so all the melee damage gets funneled to him, and he can increase that damage quicker. But then I don't think I would. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily push him to R10 because the other 2 skills are damage from him, and I wouldn't run him that way. Like I said, the good thing about going R10 is that you then get some nice stats from the relic. And that's, for me, that's the biggest thing on the relic. But Orglurg, I could see myself running some trolls on him and then 3 ranged in the back to funnel all the damage through him. For the first 6 rounds would be kind of nice. But like, then again, this is just me theory crafting from previous experience with commanders similar to him. I know who runs. Is it Deathorak that runs Oglug? Who runs a pretty nice Oglug formation? Who remembers? Is it Deathorak that runs him? Who is my favorite commander? That is a good question. I probably do have a couple of favorites though. In 1.0, it has to be Ballin. Because I got lucky. I used to talk to Randy about this at the very beginning when I started looking at how Ballin's healing skills and damage skills were working together. This is 2.5 years ago. I remember talking to him, to Vessi at the time, a little bit about this. He might not remember this. I think it was just these 2 guys that I was talking to. And I think Randy had mentioned something about using retaliate weapons on different commanders. And then I had a retaliate Mattock of the Iron Hills. And I started playing around with Ballin, and he started doing amazingly well. Season 3, if Tarta is here, and some other players that played Season 3 War of the Ring with us, they know what I'm talking about. I took a whole keep by myself, literally by myself, and held it from a hefty numbers of evil players until until my teammates were able to get forts in range to help me with just Ballin. Ballin would take 7, 8, 10 armies because evil at the time was not running. They were not running ranged units. They all ran melee units, and Ballin versus melee units would eat them like cake. He would heal, hit and heal. I'd take 8 or 10 armies before I had to pull back and retreat, and then reload. It was incredible. So 2.0, definitely my 2 favorites would be Ballin and potentially Gandalf the Grey, because of the new build that we found in season 4. Season season 4. Gandalf the Grey back in season 3 or between season 1 and season 4, he was always used as a draw machine. Anybody here from 1.0 remembers this term? Gandalf the Grey is a draw machine, is a draw commander. Type yes in the chat if you remember that. That's what Gandalf the Grey was essentially considered at the time. You run tanky units like Guardians and you just draw. That's all he was known for, right? And I remember watching a video from Godalo. Shout out to Godalo for this video. He was talking about trying different builds and going away from, because at the time I was still learning the game, but I did have some really nice formations at the time already. Well, we didn't call them formations. We had nice commanders. And then he was talking about trying different things and trying to see if he can make a damaged Gandalf the Grey work. And I was like, It's like, I mean, he's a draw machine. So I watched his video a couple of times, and then I started, my brain started going off in theory crafting. And that's when, at least I know in my server, I was the first one that created the damage build, the troop buffing build for Gandalf the Grey. And essentially, I didn't have a lot of gold gear at the time, so we were fighting a lot of cavalry. A lot of people were running, Theodens and Ilmers at the time. And I remember setting him up with a cutlass. Was it a cutlass? No, it wasn't a cutlass. Was for melee. It was either a cutlass or the purple bow that gave damage to ranged, and it was a full damage kit. I was running fireworks for, if I was fighting a lot of elves and gills, it was fireworks for the pursuit. And if I was running into a lot of Theodas and cavalry, it was the fireworks for the extra 18% damage to cavalry units. See, I still remember all of this. And man, when people were sending Theodas, and at the time Theodens were crazy good in 1.0, and they hit a Gandalf, and my Gandalf would lose a third of its life and wipe out a Theoden. So remember, cavalry back then had a lot of HP. So I lose about 100k of damage, of troop damage, and I do 383,000 of damage to their troop. I just get DM saying, "Man, how did you build this? Like, what's going on here?" And so the reason why these two are some of my favorites is because we started finding different ways to use them that was just so different to people that they had no way to counter it. And so with my barracks, I used to be able to run just T2. I didn't have T3s at the time. I had an R3 Gil, an R2 Gil maybe, an R3 Elrond. And essentially the two commanders that I ran the most was Balin, Gandalf the Grey, and Haldir. These are the three I ran the most at the time. And they all did incredibly well. People were like freaking out. How was it that my Gandalf the Grey, that's supposed to be a draw machine, was now wrecking people's, legendary, commanders? It was exactly, Rohan was dominant. It was so good. So those two in 1.0 have to be my favorite, but not because I like the characters more, but because of what we were able to discover with them. It was just epic. I loved 1.0 at the early stages. Now, Haldir with Momo kills was amazing. I actually never seen, I don't remember seeing Haldirs with Momo kills in my time. What's up, Just Still? How are you doing? Diego Rodriguez, how do you play this game in PC? You download an emulator. So you can download BlueStacks, you can download LD Play, which is the one that I'm playing on. And when I have some time, I need to test there is an emulator from MSI. I need to test the one to see if that one is a little bit faster. That is true. Willem has a nice key room too. Arsenal, it doesn't take a really big computer to run because you can tweak the GPU and all the RAM usage from that it will have. So that will take up. Oh, no way. Will you look at that? I can't take the tile. I'm one tile outside of my region. Bro, unbelievable. Fellow built fort. Oh, jeez. Oh, man, come on. It's showing here inside my circle. I actually wouldn't even mind Dahi doing the 10 AP. The issue is I won't be... oh, I can. Can't I? You're right. I could do that. I mean, before I even do, let me see if I can just find another ruin and then exchange it with somebody. I definitely prefer doing that than wasting 10 AP. Oh, man. What a look. Okay, so that way doesn't help. The funnest part for me in the game is talking theory. You know, it's theory crafting, finding different things that work. 1.0 was so fun for that. And as you can see, we're slowly finding new formations that work, that are usable, and so people don't have to really stick to the meta all the time. It's gonna take a little bit of time, guys. Oh, there was one here though. That is interesting. You were right though. Oh, that's the one that that's the one Gil took just barely. I'm like, what the heck? At this point, you know, if I'm gonna waste 10 AP, oh, here we go. I can take this one though. That's okay. Let's message him. See, I'd rather take this one. I mean, I'd rather exchange it with him. You can take this one, and then I'll take that one because that's inside. I'll sit Gil there for a second while I get talking with him. At least we should be able to do this. Let me tag him in game now on Discord. Coolio. Where do I play on? I play on my PC hard rule. Although I'm actually gonna try to set up my tablet here in front of me, connect it to my PC so I can stream it to you guys from my tablet. It's so much easier, so much more smooth for me, so much smoother for me to play on the tablet. It's a lot better. I prefer not have to be clicking around here to find my stuff. Just kind of dragging the screen is a lot better. So hopefully I can get that sorted soon. So let's wait for him. Let's wait for him on this. Oh, here we go. Here. Wait. Natan, right here. Look. I got this for you. There we go. I don't have reach for this one. Okay, there we go. Hopefully we can exchange, and then we should be good to go. What a look! What just I mean, you can't be surprised with this luck. After doing 400 pulls and getting one single Eagle KFC voucher. It's kind of expected. Let's see how bad it's gonna be my luck in Lord of the Rings Online, huh? I mean, I agree with you. Well, I loved Theo back then. He was such a fun commander to play. I mean, so many commanders were very, very usable in different ways. Yeah, it's good. I mean, I avoid reminiscence. On this, you take this one and then drop it for me. You know, because obviously I do get kind of bothered about it still. And so there we go. See, this is what, this is what teamwork is. Teamwork makes y'all know the rest. So we get to take this one. Look how close. Where is the other? Look how close we are. That's so disgusting. Well, so we wait for him so we can occupy this one. Coolio. But still, there's a lot of theory crafting. I mean, you guys can ask. If you guys have any questions about commanders, just answer. Just ask. Did I miss the answer about 2 Gandalfs? Not. I mean, I honestly like Gandalf the Grey a lot more than Gandalf the White. Exactly, Jay Spinsky. I try not to dwell as well because it just it just gets you angry. So I do think there is still a lot of the same elements from 1.0. The main thing right now, there are a few things, right? The needed for a fortress to take important things like passes and keeps. That's one thing that I really don't enjoy. Hopefully there's a way to make it at least better. I really don't like it. I remember though when I first started playing and you had to declare war on people. At first I'm like why? This is so dumb. You shouldn't have to declare war on people, which this basically kind of removes that. But after you got used to it, it was actually cool because people kind of knew when you're gonna attack, and you can set up defense and things like that. But the other thing, let's see what else. Tiling, just as important. The only difference now, you don't have to be connected to every single tile you advance to, but you still have to occupy every tile so people can't just walk right through your territory. That's still really, really important. I actually don't. I was using BlueStacks hard rule, but I'm now using something called LD Player. Our season feels like it's already over. The season died after 30 days. This is my best season of RP. It's really not fun anymore. Just still, what teams are in your season though? Yeah, right. I mean, just one tile. Olá, Wilfredo. ¿Cómo estás? But there's still a lot of commanders that are fun to play with. There is one that you guys can see right now. I won't tell you which one. That I have this interesting idea for a build that I will be sharing with you guys. Yeah, hopefully it's Captain Newton coming for this. And yeah, it's him. Sweet. I get to build my Tim camp very, very soon. Imagine I take this, right? And then where I decide to build my camp, it's not enough to build. It's too far. So it actually might be a little too far because I'm taking the ruin down here. And then it's going to basically give me access to this area. Ugh, might not be enough. But we're going to build it wherever the limit is, as long as there's some space. That's all that matters, and we're good to go. I played on BlueStacks. His looks smoother, though. I mean, it's LD Player for the majority of the time feels a lot smoother than BlueStacks. I used to play on my other PC. This PC is okay. I don't have, a decked out PC for, for games and streaming yet. Hopefully it changes in the future. But it does run pretty smooth, even while I'm streaming, which is nice. But I want to try the emulator called there's an emulator from MSI that I want to test. Hopefully, because the MSI does computers and things, maybe there is a little bit more optimized, a little bit smoother to play on. So I'm gonna be trying that one very, very soon. BlueStacks just seems like it gets heavy quite often. It becomes a little bit hard to play on. Lags quite a bit, and then you struggle. LD Player has been my go-to for about a year now. It's been fine. There are times that it feels a little bit laggy, but for the most part, it's been good. Even for big battles, it's been pretty fine. So I think we might have shown last night all the reports that you see. I haven't really been fighting much because we've been helping, clean some of these the Illinois players from this region, so we can, build our, kind of move west. LD player, yes, LD player emulator. Try that. So we've hit a couple of players, but then other than that, we're saving resources for troops and if anything else that we might need. All right, so did he take it? Yes, he took it. All right, bro. All right, Neton, thank you. Okay, so we move over here. Now let's see, oh, not that one. Let's bring myself to the other one. And that way I could potentially build my camp. Hopefully. The only important thing is Gondor with ULLF and Boop against Angmar with Warg, Nine, and Bata. Who won that season though? I know Warg, I think isn't Urundil one of the leaders there? I know him from my season, my old crew. All right, so we got this. Hopefully is enough space for us to build the stuff. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. Warg is becoming a very strong team. That'd have been nice to actually have a hot pink team, like, banner. That is very interesting. Imagine, that'd be kind of cool. Other than that, though, the commanders, after those 3 that I mentioned, I might ascend this guy. Definitely be ascending him. Other ascends, most likely no other T2. I don't see myself ascending any other T2 in this case. Like, at least not needing to. If I have vouchers that I'm not gonna use, I'll be like, because maybe all the T3s that I want to invest on, I've already done it. Then every other T2 or T1 will just stay at R10 unascended. The only one that I could see myself ascending would be Falcon, but I still don't think I will. I think everybody else I kind of have it where I want them. I wouldn't ascend Lurtz. In this case, Shadow is better. And I just like Shadow a little bit more. Although Budak runs a nasty Lurtz. Shadow at R10 is a crime. I know it is, man. I do have vouchers to ascend them, but I'm saving them first for... Ooh, I got 5 here. I'm saving them first for... Already used, okay. For Kirun and Black Serpent at R10 first. And then Guahir at R10. After those 3 are done, then there's a chance I'll put them up quick. So yeah, okay, so we got 800 here already. Yep. No, Lurtz is definitely good, but between those 2, I like Shadow more. It fits more of my play style. And somebody's sending me Lurtz reports. Wanna bet? Oh, never mind. Bro, I run Lurtz. Oh, I know. I mean, like I said, I like Lurtz, but it's just the way I play it right now. Shadow is kind of fitting my play style a little bit more. Makes sense. You're going to push Undying too. That's a good question. I don't think so. I know Undying is really, his relic is really nice, but I don't think Undying, pushing Undying for his relic is not something that I would personally do for my account because of who everybody else that I have that I can run. But Undying, if I have vouchers for him and I've done everything else, I potentially. But at the end of the day, for me, Undying skills, R10 would be ideal because you can do multiple instances of attack. No, actually, nope. I don't need him at R10. This is how I build Undying. He's not leveled enough. What do we have here? Okay, let's go. Let's give him some of this so I can show you guys what I mean. Okay, this is how I build Undying if I'm not going to invest too much. Okay, so let's reset this. undead commander, and I have almost enough points to show you exactly what I mean. I probably do the healing on him. The healing is quite nice. You can get up to 30,000, 37,000 with a defensive build, and then I do 5 points here, and then one here. That's it. That's all I do. Oh no! Well, the gear. Sorry, I'll remove my camera, but the gear doesn't matter because I run him as a tank. That's how I run him. I just run him as a tank. Let me remove that image for you guys as well. Okay, I just run him as a tank. So tank gear, potentially a little bit of focus. I do evasive for any tank in the game. This is my personal recommendation, although most I think will say the same. Unless you need it, unless you need the initiative for something that we mentioned earlier. Remember, we talked about initiative. We used Kirun and Galadriel as the example, making her faster than Dane but slower than Bjorn. If it makes sense to make this commander, Undying doesn't really need it, but if you're running a tank that has some kind of crowd control that can benefit you by being faster, then maybe I go with some of the initiative gear. Give me a second, guys. Other than that, for any tank, for me is evasive action. And did you guys know that evasive in all the defensive gear sets? Let's use just evasive action as the example. Without looking in your game or anywhere else, how many rounds does evasive action last for? Who can tell me how many rounds it lasts for? Yes, it lasts for 3 rounds, right? But what does that mean? Who's 3 rounds? Okay, it's 3 rounds. You guys are right, but who's 3 rounds? Is it the official just like round number? Oh, this is round 4. It goes so when it hits round 4, it just automatically goes off. Is that how it works? No. So evasive actions is the commander's first 3 rounds. Okay, so hopefully, if you guys haven't learned this yet, awesome. You guys just stay with me for the next 5 minutes then. It's 3 rounds when the commander acts. So when the commander acts the 4th time in round 4, by then it wears off. Okay, so let me give you an example. If you have Undying as your tank and he's slow, okay, and the evasion doesn't proc on him, okay, which doesn't matter anyways, because if you're tanking, you lose the evasion in round 1, okay, so like in 2 hits essentially, because it's 4 instances, 4 or 5 instances. Anyway, we're talking about round 4 anyway. So let's say you have Dane and Bjorn. Your enemy Dane and Bjorn faster than your own Undying. So Bjorn, Dane, Undying is gonna act in round 4. Because it's 3 rounds when your commander acts, both of the hits from Dane and Bjorn, you're still getting the 20% reduction. Does that make sense? So if you're running a slow tank, evasive action is your best friend, especially if you're not running White Council. If you're running a formation that does not use White Council, evasive action for the survivability of your tank, and a lot of times going to be using an expensive unit, then they're your best friends. Does that make sense for you guys? Just type yes or no, and if it doesn't, I'll explain in a little bit more detail. But I think it was clear. Page 3, I'll look at your question again, and I'll reply here, and I'll reply here right now. I actually thought of that when you first said, like, oh, maybe I should cover this in the live stream. Here we go. Hopefully it makes sense. Nobody said no. Okay, I guess then it made the biggest sense in the world. Hopefully it helps, guys. So if I'm running this Undying here, the only thing I need, so I have 16 more levels to go to hit 50. So that's another 5 points and 1 extra point left over. 5 levels and 1 point left over. Let's see what that gives me. That's all I need. I mean, yeah, it's more than what I need because I can then go 4 more points into Undertaker for then, to hit 3 targets. Yeah, the instance is 5 at level 10. And then I can even put I can put 2 points into Weapon Master if I want to, but I only need 1. And I could give myself a little bit of Power of Bloodline if I'm running Trolls as my tank. I usually run Swans, but I can then give 1.5 points of defense extra for them because it's no use to me getting an extra buff on this Weapon Master. Essentially, these 2 skills I'm not really using it for the damage. It's just for the multiple instances of damage that I can hit. Okay. And the cool thing is, okay, this is why it's different. Unless I'm wrong, I don't think I am. In this case, these are not normal attacks. It's not saying it deals normal attacks to 2 formations like the Shadow does. These are skill damages that could help you wear off that Y council a little bit. So that's how I'd run him. And like I just showed you, unless I really want his relic, there really is no point in me going above him. Even R4 would have been enough, I believe. No, maybe not. Let's see what happens if I go to... Yeah, no. So... No, R6 would have been perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. I have... No. So once he gets to 50, I'll show you guys a little bit more detail. Hopefully we have some time to test him. But yeah, I don't think I'd be taking Undying any higher than R7. I know it looks cool, having him R10. It looks cool, but you don't really need it unless for some reason you really want his relic. And for me, I'm not really that interested because I'm not gonna be running him as a damage dealer, so the HP is not as helpful. I mean, even as a tank, it can be helpful, but I prefer getting all that money, all those vouchers, and using it on other commanders that I know for sure I'll be using at higher respect, or that it needs higher respect to work. For example, Witch King I like to take on a little bit higher, and like I said, Guajir as well. But other than that, I think I'm fine. Sestaro I won't be going. Although I like Sestaro, he has a lot of potential. It's nice damage dealer. I don't see myself investing in any other damage dealers unless maybe it's a new commander that's just that good. Because in this case, I always be losing that 3 extra of damage to get him to Zenith 1, and I have other options that I can go with. I have Saruman, who's already at Z10. I have all these other guys at much higher respect that I can get a lot more out of it. All right, cool. Oh, wait. Did I take it? I didn't take it yet. So let's occupy this. Here we go. Oh man, I have... My siege is so bad. I'm going to basically waste all the points on him just to take this. That's fine. It's not like we're doing a whole lot right now. So it's fine. Let's just see how much range I have. Why am I not just doing... Oh, I can't do that little plus little siege thing. Here we go. Did we take it? Is it ours? One more. Just one more. Here we go. Perfect. Now we got range, baby. Not that much though. Look, it didn't improve that much my range. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do now. Because I'm pretty sure there is no ruin around this area. And then so I either build a fort, which I could have built an hour ago and be halfway through the fort being built, or I just say Let's build it here. Who cares? It might be a little too far though, man. Who's riding? Just took it. Oh man, I mean maybe taking it over here could be not too bad, you know. It's yeah, I actually might like it being over here. Gives me a bit of a buffer if for some reason we get pushed from this place. So my limit is right here. So I could build it right here. That could be where I build it. Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 9. Yep, that could be where. So I'm just gonna save this spot right now, in case. Look at that, Nitan and I. We're gonna become neighbors. We just help each other here. So yeah, I mean, I'm around some really good people, some really active players. So I might just actually stick to this. It might be where I land. We should be happy here. Who else is here? Oh, Clayona. I mean, I'm like right here with my crew, man. Let's see who else. Got Lau over here, Lady Lau. Poise. I apologize if I'm butchering your guys' names. Try my best. All right, so let me get to Pastry Vikings question. And I'll get to Treebeard J. Pinsky. He is fine. There is a guy called the Last Piece of Ash. Isn't that in Fangord or something like that? He has a Z2, Z3 Treebeard. He has a lot of fun with them. He uses Treebeard Z level and everybody else at I think R4, R5. I can't remember exactly his formation. But he does fine. He does extremely well for choosing to run Treebeard. He basically funnels all the damage through him. So Treebeard using a tank or a melee unit, and then he runs ranged on Azog, Witch King, and somebody else. Can't remember now. But then it's you might need to tweak a little bit, you know, that build. It might not work in he's not a plug and play commander. Angus, send me a report of your Treebeard if you can, in game or no, you're not on you're on the same, I think you're on the same server as I, aren't you? Or either if you're in the same server, which I believe you are, aren't you? Or just in a DM or one of the servers and just tag me. Player Dance from DK have a big Treebeard. I think I've seen reports from that player. So he does fine. He's definitely not a plug and play commander because his skills are very kind of random. Oh, I mean, I've seen, yeah, we've seen a couple of Zenith ones. So Treebeard, when you read his skills, you're like, okay, does it really make sense? I like this skill right here. You know, you can get really high damage and defense for your units. This is why he basically runs. That's why he funnels all the damage to Treebeard for this reason. But then you got everything else is kind of a bit, you know, random. You know, from rounds 5 onward deals 200 physical damage to 2 formations, and then -5 to Urukai. That sounds, you know, like what is that? This is a mythic tier 3 commander, and you're giving -5 to Urukai. I know it's lore. You know, Isengard in the trees and the Ents, but it's very, very, very average to say the least. You know, then you got this every other rounds 2, 4, and all the way down 500 damage once, but then he doesn't do normal attacks, and then a chance to for the stun, and then this. Like I said, I feel like this is also very, very average because remember, large units are already lower in supply per command. So plus 15, you know, and then being command that scale. So you got 2 damage dealing skills here, right? And you have then something that scales attack and defense. And then you have a troop buffing skill that then scales with command. But if you're going to use these 2 damage trees, you don't want command, you want damage. Then you essentially have only one piece of item with command, and that is your helmet. Or then you can go damage, weapon, and then command on the other two. But then you kind of spreading yourself really, really thin. So it makes a bit of a clunky formation. I prefer doing what Ash does, which is kind of fun, just mostly funneling the damage through him. But then, like I said, he has no troop skills. You're kind of getting lucky with him, doing all the damage, because there's no skill, there's no skills for the units. So this is the tough spot to be in. There's very few commanders who buff damage to troops. One is Helm, Azog. Witch King doesn't do that. In Thorn, essentially, that actually boosts his damage, and in Gandalf the White for the first 4 rounds. So if you really wanted to buff Treebeard, I would consider testing something like Helm, Azog, Treebeard, and maybe Gandalf the White. I think that formation could be really good, because now you have 25% from Gandalf the White, and I probably run Hill Trolls and then 3 range, so Bow Knights and then Hill Trolls. That's actually a really fun test. Maybe I'll do that this season. And you guys are giving me awesome ideas. Hope if not this season, the next season I think would be it might be maybe an easier season to test on. Really good idea though, guys. Azog, Helm, because they both buff damage from units, and Gandalf the White and Treebeard. That could be a fun little test. Honestly, we'll have to give that a go. But other than that, he's kind of more of a niche commander. And so let's get to Pastry Vike. Sorry, Pastry, he's been waiting here. So his question is, we're talking about Thorn, I believe. That's true. Actually, you're right, Pastry. You're right. King of Men does. For me, I'll try King of Men instead. Yeah. We'll give that a go. So I think we're talking about Thorn here. Let's see. Yes. I had a question about Thorn's R4 skill. The thing is, Pastry, I need to look at a report because I'm also not too sure on this. Does his skill proc? If you guys have already looked this up, so let me know, okay? Does his skill proc on a random enemy after receiving damage, or does it apply similar to the old counterattack mechanic? I.e., does a melee troop have the ability to apply the damage to an enemy ranged unit, or will it prioritize the enemy unit until they're dead? Oh, so that's a good question. No, that does not apply. Let me give you an example of a commander that what you're saying does apply. Okay? If you go look at Guahir's skill, let me just look which one it is. This one right here. Okay? Guahir's skill does exactly what you're saying. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Thorn's skill does this. They just didn't add this kind of information to it. So if anybody's in the chat and you have tested this, let me know. So look what it says in Guahir's R4. Each round, allow large units in the commander's formation and one allied formation of units with Featherborn to deal an instance of 70% physical damage to one formation. The choice of enemy targets is determined by the unit's own attack type. Okay? So just like you said, if the unit that's attacking Shadow of the Skies is a melee, he will attack a melee. He will not attack, unless he is a Dunedain, he will attack a melee unit. It will be a random one, okay? But at least you know that this one actually does the way you're saying. So if Featherborn is on a large ranged unit, which we don't have one, so that really does, in this case, doesn't really matter. They're basically all. Yep. Then in this case, it's gonna attack all melee because we don't have a large ranged unit. So hopefully that makes sense. Now Thorin's skill does not say that. So I'm going to assume, unless somebody in chat can correct me if I'm wrong, it won't do it that way. So his R4 is a bit different, right? It doesn't say, you know, that it is. It's that way, but I actually need to check it myself unless somebody in chat has already. I mean, Najay is texting, so maybe has Discord here. Maybe he already tested that, so I'll wait for him to reply unless it's about Lord of the Rings Online, which we will get to in just a minute. Najay, just answer. Let's see. Oh, all right, cool. I mean, the thing is, Najee, what do you mean? Are you talking about the race? I'm considering starting as man because I have another, we have a couple of other people joining, and they are in Bree once they leave the tutorial. So let me know if that's the question you're talking about. Okay, let's go back to Pastry Vikings question. Side question: how does the R5 out of 10 skill on his Oaken Shield work? Okay, so by the way, I think until I test, I look at a report fighting a controlled formation of a ranged and a melee to test, but I believe it's gonna choose a random unit to do the damage to, because then again, in this case, it's not a normal attack, but maybe it is just like Wahir's R4, but it's just not, it's like in between the lines. I'll have to check, because their skills are quite similar in description, but one is specifically mentioned in the unit type and the other isn't, but it doesn't mean it's not there. So I'll check that out. Side question: how does the 5 out of 10 skill on his Oaken Shield work? Let's look it up. Okay, so 5 out of 10, next instance of damage received minus 10%. So it's not the image, it's not the damage that the enemy receives. It's the instance that you receive minus 10%. So your next instance of damage received is minus 10. So this skill is for your formation. Okay. Unless I'm crazy and I'm reading it like a fool, but no, it's your own next instance of damage is minus 10%. Okay. Let's see if I can look up the bold really quick. I've been running Thorn for quite a while, so maybe I have some. Ah, man, we're on the same boat. I mean, come on, they definitely don't make it easy on us on this. Okay, so let's have a look here. Where is it? So okay, I know they're both. Let's see if I fought anybody with a mix of ranged. Okay, no. Come on, somebody give me some ranged. No. Oh, here we go. Okay. Maybe we can. I kind of wanted to see somebody with a full formation to see something, but if not, then Yaman was the one. Okay, here we go. We got. But it wasn't Helm. No. No. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Not this one. Give me a second, guys. Maybe here. No. Come on. Somebody running. Here we go. We can check. We can check this one out. We got Thorn here. Okay. So he's running a melee. Let's look here, because he has a lot more ranged in this case, so it's easier to look up his. So it's not him though, it's him over here. Okay, let's see what happens here. Let's look at Thorn, because I know Thorn is gonna do his bold is gonna hit. So okay, read with me. If you guys see it before I do, tell me to stop. Actually, it's when they receive damage, right? So I have to go all the way to the top. Doesn't really matter. Maybe here. has basically no troops. It's really, really hard to even look at this. So maybe Jinspinski, maybe it is the same. So where is Swan Knights? Damage received, they attack. But, okay. Sound, they counterattack, alright. Let's see here. Never mind, I can't even, it won't even work with this. Let's see if we can find somebody else running some range. This guy's running melee. Let's see, we gotta find somebody. Rocky. There we go. He's running some ranged and no protection units. So this might be a little bit easier to look. All right, so the bold. Come on, come on. Although they made it easier to read reports, it's still not easy to read reports. Maybe color coding commanders and their skills will make it easier to find people's skills. Oh, I'm not. Oh, never. Oh, jeez, that makes sense, huh? I'm not running Thorn in this formation. Jeez. Oh, that was on me. Let's see. Let's go down a little bit more then. Okay, Thorn is back over here. See if we find anybody with ranged. I mean, that was just silly though. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Yes, yes. This is gonna be perfect because these, you know, the Shires also kind of push stuff to their places. So here we go. This is gonna be good now. Okay. Here we go. The bold. So Fell Beast triggers Thorns formation. The bold Azog Morka gives Fell Beast plus 45%. So Fell Beast the bold causes Gimli to take 46 physical damage. It was the Bow Knights from Formation 2. Azog Gandalf gives protection. Fell Beast the bold causes physical damage to the Shire protectors. Yeah, so look. Bow Knights attacked. And then the Shire took the damage. Do you guys know why? Who can guess why? Come on, guys. Who can guess why? Let's look at it again. No, Shire's supposed to divert the damage. Exactly. So remember, Shires only deflect normal attacks, okay? So in normal attacks... No, that's not it. The reason why Shires are taking the damage is because they're ranged units. And ranged units only get attacked by attacks like these. I guess this is kind of considered... It's not considered a normal attack, but still fine. It still uses the same principle as Guahir's. Remember, we read Guahir's skill. And it's not a normal attack, but still, it gets triggered kind of like a normal attack. Melee hits melee. You know, range can hit anything. So, just to be clear, it looks like it's exactly what we've been discussing. Okay? Where physical, you know, his R4 will trigger depending, just like it does with the units, depending on the units you have. This is not going to be a good example as well. I'm going to find some more examples to then show you. I need to find formations that are not using taunt units. So then we can do this. Because everybody's running just protection units, and that's going to be rough to give you guys a full comparison. But yes, according to what the Shire Protectors just did, they got hit. It's not a normal attack, but it uses the same principle as a unit attack. And the reason why the Shires were not able to pass on that attack to one of the ranged is because it seems like it uses that same principle. Just like Guahir's damage skill. Guahir's R4 is not a normal attack, but it works just like it. The principle of unit type. Hopefully that makes sense. I don't play Natan. No, I don't. Here you go. We can even look at the Spinsky one, which I think is gonna kind of confirm the same thing. There is a melee. There are a couple of melees. So he's saying, what did he say here? In round 1, when Denethor hits me. Okay, let's have a quick look. Thank you, my friend, for sending this over. So then we can confirm really quick what we're talking about. Round 1, Denethor hits. Here we go. And the bold takes effect. Swan Knight causes. Yep. So Denethor attacks. And then his Swan Knights hit the Spearman. Sounds good. Look at that. So Longbowman attacks. This is going to be, I think, even better for us to look into, because it's a ranged unit attacking. Swan Knight triggers Storm's the Bold, causes Dwalin. Exactly. Swan Knights. The bolt causes 33-15 physical damage to Ranger. So yes, it does follow the same principle. Okay. Yeah, but I think this Jispinski, this is the perfect example here. A ranged unit attacked and then it triggered the bold. Okay. And then the bold triggers the Swan Knights that are a melee unit to hit another melee unit, even though the Longbowman was doing a hit. So he doesn't hit the same unit that hit him. It's going to be a random unit following the same principle of melee to melee or ranged to whatever else. Hopefully that clarifies for you guys. All right. I think that was a good question, though. Perfect question. I'm going to answer the last question here, guys, and then I'm going to be finishing this live stream, okay? Because it's time. It's going to be time for us to then, I'm going to take a 1 minute break and then start our live stream in Lord of the Rings Online. Okay, so I think there was one last question, and then we'll get going. I think it was from Justil. Which bad Kingdom Man would fit to Sauron, Saruman, and Lurtz? I'm not sure what you mean, Justil. I'm not sure what you mean there. All right. All right, Zeph, let's do it, bro. Okay, let's see. Yeah, my friend, just what commander instead of King of Men? I'm assuming you're saying. Sauron, Saruman, and Lurtz. I mean, if you have Undying, that would be a great one. If you're running all evil, if you have access to Gandalf the White or Gandalf the Great, those could be good ones. Those would be. I mean, if you're trying to not go crazy investing and you want to do well, you can ideally kind of send your commanders either in my Discord or Gore's. Gore's might be a little bit better because there's so many people that can help you. So yeah, that's what I do. King of Man, I don't think would fit that formation that you have. Undying at R1 fit will do fine because his main thing just still is the evasion from his bottom R0. So you're fine. Eduardo, I'm giving you a mix of P-Brain. I mean, I hope it made sense now, okay? I'll probably do a short video later on this, but I hope it made sense for you guys, because it even for me, I didn't really think about how Thorn was really hitting. In this case, if I don't wanna be attached to having to hit the melee first, and then maybe I have to run a ranged unit on Thorn. I have to look. I don't know. That it kind of opens even another discussion. Now the question is, if somebody's running a ranged unit, that's something I'm gonna have to look. I'll look offline. If you're running Swan Knights, for example, or Mountain Trolls, and you're still running ranged, will you? And you're running ranged. That's the thing that I have to test. And you're running ranged. Will you get? Are you obligated to hit? It shouldn't. It should follow the same principle. And because it's not a normal attack, it should not be that skill should not be, taunted or attracted by the protective skill from Swan Knights or the Ents, because it's not a normal attack. I have to just double check. I think it shouldn't. But so this is something for you guys even to consider, right? Maybe you didn't think, maybe somebody's running freaking all ranged units. I don't want to be hitting the melee because I already have somebody else that's kind of focusing on that. So then you got to run a ranged unit on Thorn. Now, whether or not that works, whether or not it's something that you want to do because maybe you don't want to run March Wardens or you don't want to run some other type of units, then something you have to just kind of discuss and get an idea for. What is the best formation for free to play? Hard rule, come back, hold that question for tomorrow's live stream because we're talking about that right now. R10 Lurts or R7 Shadow? I'm for Shadow. Like I said earlier, Shadow to me in the current meta has if somebody's running anything outside of, okay, listen to this. If somebody's running anything outside of Swan Knights, Shadow still does a lot of damage. Because a lot of the splash damage is not protected by, like, Swan Knights don't. They're the only ones that really protect from that. Everything else, you still get splash damage from their attacks. So that's why Swan Knights in the NRP, a lot of people are using them. But for me, Shadow is just a better commander. Not by much though. I'm not saying it's not. It's for me, it's more like more gameplay, more choice than performance. Burak, who is a youth player. He's somewhere else this season, but he's played with us for a while. He runs a Z1 or Z, maybe a little bit higher alerts with Saruman, and he's done an incredible job with that formation. So it's more of me just liking Shadow a lot. So, but Hardware, yeah, come back tomorrow. All right, guys, just a couple of things. Don't forget, if you want to join us for this kind of gameplay through on Lord of the Rings Online, I'm just gonna post a new link to keep things separated. So people that want to watch Rise to War here, if you want to watch Lord of the Rings Online over there, it's still gonna be in the. I'm gonna add everybody in the channel to join. Hopefully, you guys are gonna join. I really enjoyed the game. It's been a long time since I actually played Lord of the Rings Online, and so it's gonna be. It's basically a brand new game for me. Although I've played MMORPGs in the past. All right, a couple of things before we go, guys. Omer, you just came on as we are ending the live stream for Rise to War right now. But like I said, join us in like 2 minutes on Lord of the Rings Online, which we're going to be starting just a second on a different link. Just a couple of things, guys. If you haven't yet, there's just 2 things I ask you guys to do. If you're new to the channel or you've been here, for the last 9 days and you haven't yet subscribed, that is a huge way that you can support the channel just by subscribing and liking the video, helping YouTube, pushing it out there for more people that like Lord of the Rings, RTS games, and just gaming in general. All right, those are the 2 things we have to say. Big announcements though. Tomorrow we're gonna be doing a tier list, probably one of the biggest pieces of content we've done in a while. It's gonna be a lot better structured than last time, very organized, very simple to understand, and then we're gonna try to get through the tier list fairly quick, so then we can answer questions related to the tier list that you guys will likely have. Okay? It's been a pleasure, honestly. Today's been a delight to stream for you guys. I think we chatted about a lot of awesome different questions, and hopefully your questions I was able to answer. But don't forget, if you have more questions, join back tomorrow. But also, don't forget to join Gore's Discord, because You know, Vessi, Gore, and now Vessi have done an incredible job, you know, amassing people to it. And Vessi and I are going to be working a lot together to make content that really is going to help you guys become better at Rise to War. Okay? So, yeah, that's going to do it for me today. We're back tomorrow. And for those who want to play Lord of the Rings Online, see you in about 5 minutes. Have a good night, everybody. And I hope to see you in 5 minutes. Take care, everyone.